Meowdy and hello, TaCoCaT here with a brand new series. 2 of them, actually. As you can see, we're going to be jumping into RuneScape. But I'm going to be doing both RuneScapes, because I've never really been able to choose a favorite, and as my viewers, you shouldn't have to either. This first video is going to feature both Old School and RS3, and then later I'll split them. But what we're going to be doing in this series is Slayer. But Slayer tends to be interrupted sometimes, most commonly by clue scrolls. So we're going to lean into those interruptions. When we get a clue scroll, we're going to do it. Welcome to Slayer Interrupted. Like I said, Slayer Interrupted. Let's see if that name is even available. Character limits. Alright, let's try this. That works. Alright, we've got our name. Let's make our profile, our character here. We're going with body type B because I identify female, so why shouldn't my character? Let's see. You know, I'm starting to remember why I always skip this part of the videos. I hope no one does that this time. Come on, I know you're in there. There it is. Alright, I've got my pink pigtails. None of the rest of this really matters. Yeah, that looks good enough. I've got my pink pigtails, that's what matters. Alright, so as I go through tutorial island here, I'll explain to you exactly what I mean by Slayer Interrupted. See, I'm going to be starting the Slayer task skill right off tutorial island. The very first thing I'm going to do is get myself to Berthorpe, talk to Turiel, and begin Slayer. While I'm doing Slayer, I will be getting clue scroll drops, as one does while doing Slayer. But I'm not going to stack these up, I'm not going to save them. The moment I get a clue scroll, I stop the Slayer task, and I do the clue scroll. Thing is, I'm going to be an Iron Man account, which means if the clue scroll says to wear an iron plate, then guess who's mining for iron? You'll see what I mean as we go on, but that's the gist of it. I get a clue scroll, no matter what it means, what it takes, I have to finish it before I can go back to Slayer. And we'll see what kind of well-rounded character that might produce. Yes, please bring up the settings menu so I can turn on the audio. Why is there no game sound? There we go. Oh, maybe. Yeah, I'm making good progress. I just told you I'm experienced at this. Why are we going through the... Alright, let's go chop some wood and catch some shrimp. I did tell the game that I've done this before, right? Why am I step-by-step hand-holding? Come on. Okay, give me my hatchet and my tinderbox. Or just keep explaining it to me. That works too. There's the music. It is working. Nice. This is one of the best parts of RuneScape. If you're new to this game, then why the fluff are you watching me play it? But honestly, one of the best parts about RuneScape, old school or 3, really, is the music. Let's cook these damn shrimps so we can keep going. Okay, I didn't burn them. Back in the day, you would automatically burn your first shrimp. No, one misclick does not an entire conversation justify. Yeah, I cook shrimp. Oh, now I have to cook bread. That'll make me a real chef. Let's go kill some rats. I guess first we have to mine, then we'll kill rats. Yeah, give me my pick. Thank you. You know, you could have given me the hammer when you gave me the pickaxe. There we are, one fine butter knife. Hey, Vanica, we are gonna get to know each other really well. Really, Vanica? You tell me what to kill and when, and that... Oh, wait. Alright, first Slayer task from Vanica completed. Kill one giant rat. Now we get to kill a rat from far away. Really, what's the point of asking how experienced I am if they're just going to give me the same tutorial? I'm gonna be an Iron Man. I don't need coins. Seriously, this game has some of the best music. Prayer. Yeah, this is going to be important for Slayer. Okay, maybe not so experienced after all. It's been a minute since I've actually done Tutorial Island, and I seem to have got myself lost at the very end. That's embarrassing. Alright, we are going to be an Iron Man account. Not an Ultimate Iron Man, or an Extreme Iron Man, or a Hardcore Iron Man, or anything ridiculous like that. Just a regular, can't trade with people, can't pick shit up if it isn't yours kind of Iron Man. Alright, I'm gonna, find some way to block this real quick, and then I'll, I'm just gonna pause the stream for a moment, and, no, that won't work. Give me a second, I'll figure something out. There we go. Now I'm an Iron Man, and we can proceed. And now my favorite combat skill. Alright, here we are in Lumbridge. Let's get rid of all this tutorial island crap, because apparently that's what you do when you're an Iron Man. And then we'll be going to Barthorpe. I've already got membership, so that's one interruption we won't have to deal with. Alright, we're fresh off the island and we are now completely unequipped, so let's head to Barthorpe. This might take a minute. So, while we're traveling, how's everyone doing? You know, I guess this is as good a time as any to explain what I actually mean by Slayer Interrupted. Yeah, I alluded to it earlier. You know, you get a clue scroll, you automatically do it. But that means no matter what the clue scroll says, I have to completely stop what I'm doing and finish the clue scroll. So that could mean questing, that could mean skilling to get the items I need, it could mean combat to get the levels to wear the items I need. You know, whatever I have to do to finish that clue. And then once that's done, it's back to Slayer until I get another one. Given that the very first interruption is going to be as soon as I get my first Slayer assignment, I'm actually going to go back to Lumbridge and do X marks the spot. For the very first time in my RuneScape career, my first quest is not going to be Cook's assistant. Alright, slight wrong turn there, but we're approaching the members gate. Alright, I already got membership, so don't need to worry about that interruption. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've actually played OS. Let's see, I am too far south. Alright. Okay, I know he's around here somewhere. Right here, okay. I promise I really do know how to play this game. This is not necessarily an indication of how the series is going to go. But it might be, so watch anyway for the lulls. Alright, quick introduction to the Slayer skill. Another thing, I am always going to use the recommended combat method. So if it's ranged, I'll be fletching. If it's melee, I'll be smithing. You know, whatever the preferred method for killing the creature is, that's the way I'm going to kill it. First task is birds, which works out because I'm going back to Lumbridge anyway, so I'll just kill some chickens there. apparently they don't have a preferred weakness, so I guess I'll melee them for now. However, before any of that, I've got the Slayer skill started, I've got my first quest in mind, and I've given you an idea about what we'll be doing here in Old School. But like I said, this video is going to be introducing both series. So now it's time to switch over to RS3 and do the same thing there. I'll just kind of move myself to the middle here while I'm doing this. You won't be able to see what I'm doing right away, but you can look at my cute little avatar. Some of you who know my old one know how proud I am of this new one. And I'll be back in just a moment with RS3. Alright, let's move back over here. And here we are in RuneScape 3. Pretty much the same place we started in Old School. Let's make our character. A lot more options this time. But only one thing truly matters. The rest is whatever. Let's see, this looks cute. I like pink, in case you haven't noticed. That looks good to me. Let's make her skin tone a little dark, a little lighter. Okay, that's glowing. That looks reasonable. And I can just choose my game mode right from the start. Much easier to get to Berthorpe this way. And they want me to talk tutorial first thing. Also much easier to find this way. Alright, and here we have the new version of Tutorial Island. Oh, by the way, I chose I've played recently at the very beginning. If you choose I've never played before, or I haven't played in a while, you get to play Tutorial Island, and then go through this tutorial as well. Kinda silly, I think. I did Tutorial Island on Old School, and so I might as well do this tutorial as well. It'd give us, you know, a little more time to get to know each other. So you might be wondering by now, what the fluff even is a TaCoCaT? Well, TaCoCaT is just me trying to, figure out who I am, where I am, why I am, the usual questions. But you get to come along with me while I figure them out. How fun is that? Okay, not quite sure what happened there. Alright, I'm gonna figure out what the fluff is going on here, and I'll be right back.